With your boy shit. Glitch, nigga. Shit, I'm about to flood the streets like when the levees break. Criminal minds, my Garcia can navigate. Flowing while I'm blowing this gas. Nigga, no grace. Niggas not seeing me ever. I mean, no dates. Fuck around and end up gone. You get in this place. You ain't need the shit that I claim. You dealing with grace. Took over the game by storm like Rain's mixtape. Thankfully, I've been up in smoke like my mixtape. Counting cheddar shit, I'm about to make a grilled cheese. Niggas be faker than bad bitches with good leads. On my John Wick shit like Keanu Reeves. Replacements won't be enough. You need the whole team. I've been a G since I could finish my ABCs. Kept it a buck so real niggas look up to me. This butcher boy shit get crazy when it's sick of me. I'm coughing out these dope bars till they sick of me.
Can't get rid of me, still can't find a remedy. Still blowing palmers if it comes to Hennessy. E&E, we own our shit independently. When I go out on the limb, I take extremities. I can see right through transparency. Hurt their self-esteem, low insecurities. Now or never, like push the guarantee. What's the recipe? King L's Reflection 3. All these chapters in my life, you can turn a page. Books can't tell you my story, gotta live a day. Glitch got my back, yeah, you can copy that. Man, we control the scene, you can copy that. Leave your whole state red like Republicans. Put fire on the track, now it's bubbling. Put your boys E&E, you in trouble, kid. Add first 100 mil, you can double.
Let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. Automatic nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's automatic nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Blow sick, corona, jealous in the motherfucker. Can't even take a step, that's how far I trust you. This black boy turned to shining king under pressure. West side fat jacks, I took more than measure. Shave the extras, that's business starter feed. Street blues, what I talk, boy, your blood flowing free. Power on my mind, knows the gang is kind. Read between the lines, it was in my eye. If they ain't got real lines, it ain't hard to spot a counterfeit. Undefeated, ultra real, Fern Gully Mountain shit. Couple hot shots, turn them to frozen margaritas. Even better when it's served with some flawless peaches. Mix shit, they gotta pay for these flawless features. Flawless victories from the flaws that they teach us. Now my flow imitate how I board the plane nonstop. The little J gon' take over with my time side.
Yeah, I get right to it. My nigga, we begging pardon. We putting niggas back in boxes. Yeah, they need pardon. My flow be retarded. Sick, I need hella help. My groove came back. This must be how Stella felt. We just started kicking it like a yellow belt. We all made it to the pros. This is how LaMelo felt. You better yell out help. Here comes the double team. You catch me in the spot, then you know that the boy is playing. The Louis V look mean with the magazine. So if you try it, you get shot. No vaccine. If you was asleep before I came, then I'm the caffeine. I pull the jokers out the deck. Yeah, there ain't no laughing. In CEO fashion, we sticking to the business. Wouldn't even let a vegan knock me off my chick. Something about the BBS when the sun is hitting. Should be flashing like the lights when you getting
Let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Yeah. What up? Y'all already know it's the man about town, Virgil Berry, a.k.a. Stacks with the Facts. And y'all know y'all tuned in to another episode of A Real Talk Podcast. It's Tuesday. What up? You hear me? What's good with y'all, man? Hit that like button. Smash that like button. Share on your social engineering and all that. You know what I'm talking about, man? How y'all doing tonight? It's Monday, man. Meet and greet each other as y'all come up in the demonstration in the situation, man. What's going on with y'all? How you doing? This is going to be another open panel tonight. You know, I know a lot of y'all be kind of scared to come up for whatever reason, but, you know, this is y'all's platform as well. So I say that to say that you're more than welcome to come up and voice your opinion on whatever subject we may happen to be going in on. Your opinion is needed. Your opinion is wanted. It will be respected, and we want to hear what it is, man. So just keep that in mind, y'all, over here at A Real Talk, man. You know what I'm saying? All opinions are welcome. You know what I'm talking about? And yeah, man, we about to get into it tonight, man. How y'all doing? Like I say, how y'all like last night's show, man? Did y'all like last night's show? On a Monday night, on a soft Monday. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. Soft Monday. That's how we do it, man. Now it's Tuesday, right? Ari Spears and Tiffany Haddish got some explaining to do. I don't care what anybody say. They got some goddamn explaining to do, man. And like I say, man, they're coming for our children, right? And tomorrow, we're going to be going in again. They're coming for our children. And we're going to be discussing not only the thumbnail that's in there, we're going to be discussing that evil-ass, demon-time-ass cartoon, but we're going to be discussing a lot of other things as well. You know what I'm saying? Because make no mistake about it, y'all, they are coming for our children. Whether y'all want to admit it, whether y'all like it, whether y'all want to accept it, whether you don't believe it, it really don't matter. The only thing that matters is the truth, right? Not my truth, not your truth, not their truth, not his truth or her truth, but the truth. And that's the only thing that matters over here at A Real Talk Podcast, man. I don't care about your truth. Your truth doesn't matter. Only thing that matters is the truth, right? Over here. God damn it. Big difference between all of that. Anyway, how y'all doing? King L's in the building. What's good? You know what I'm saying? We about to bring y'all already know how we do it on E&E Tuesdays, man. Me and my brother L's going in. You know what I'm talking about? We going in. You know what I'm saying? And tonight's subject, as y'all see, right? As y'all see, tonight's subject is going to be kind of sensitive. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have that panel open, man. Y'all more than welcome to come up. Speak your piece, man. Because, you know, we're going to get to it, man. When it comes to being a unintentional racist, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, a lot of us were raised in certain areas. A lot of us were not privy to a lot of different interacting with different groups of people. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you come from a different country. Cupcake in the building. What's good, baby? Right? You know what I mean? A lot of us were raised, you know what I'm saying, in certain communities. A lot of us were raised in certain demographics. A lot of us were raised with certain cultural views, and a lot of us were raised with, you know what I'm saying, a lot of cultural tropes. You know what I'm saying? You know, so it's a lot of things that can factor in to you being an unintentional racist, right? Hit that like button, y'all. Tap in, walk with us, man. How y'all all doing tonight, man? Meet and greet each other as y'all come up in the demonstration, man. You understand? Roll your joints up, man. Pour your drinks up. I'm only drinking on the weekends now when I decide to drink. So Monday through Saturday, or Monday, or really Sunday through Thursday, I ain't really drinking like that. Cutting back. You know what I'm saying? I'm only resorting my drinking to Friday night and Saturday night. I might pop up with a bottle of wine with the ladies on ladies' night. Ooh, and this ladies' night, if I can get my sis Dara to come back over, I'm gonna have her on, and we're gonna chop it up about something that the ladies, I think y'all ladies are gonna like this subject. I ain't gonna tell y'all nothing about it. But hopefully I can get my sis Dara to come back on, because she's a perfect person to have come back on and have this discussion with. Right? Unintentional racism or unintentional racist. Right? Yeah, this discussion is going to be a beautiful thing, man, because you know what I mean. This affects a lot of people in a lot of different ways. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were raised, like I said, in certain areas and certain cultures and ethnicities, and they just weren't exposed to interacting with other groups of people, or I dare say other races of people. Right? And we're going to get into this from all different type of aspects too. Because there's a lot of factors that factor in to somebody being unintentionally an unintentional racist, right? So y'all know we're gonna get to it, man. How y'all doing tonight, though, man? How you feeling? What's going on? You feel me? How was y'all's day today? How your day been so far? Right? You know what I mean? Hit that like button, y'all, man. How your day been so far, man? Has it been a beautiful, prosperous day for you? I know it's been one for me, man. I went to work today, man. Jen didn't want me to come get her from school, so I didn't have to go get her from school. And I like how Jen is one to have some autonomy. You know what I mean? I just be so used to picking her up from school on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays since I've been home. You know what I'm saying? She getting older now, and she kind of wants to like have some autonomy. She kind of wants to like walk from the school bus with her friends and stuff like that. And you know, I'm not one to come in between that. I just told baby girl, I said, listen, when you want me to come pick you up from school, you just make sure you text me either the night before or earlier in the morning so I know to come get you when I get off work. So, you know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing, too. You know what I mean? We got to let our kids experience what it's like to make decisions on their own, man, so they can learn how to be responsible. You know, you do everything for them, man, or make them feel like they coddled and cuddled. You know what I'm saying? They're going to turn out spoiled or thinking they're expecting certain stuff. You know what I mean? And that's just not reality. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that link. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to waste no time. We're going to get straight to it. You know what I'm saying? How y'all doing tonight, man? All y'all cloud watchers out there, man. Shouts out to my brother Red Supreme TV1, man, for keeping it going. You know what I'm saying? Making stuff happen. Micro Kid 691. Aloha to you too, brother. We got somebody all the way from Hawaii in the building, I'm going to assume. If I'm not mistaken. That's Hawaii's area code. Oh, no, that's Micronesia. Huh. Federated States of Micronesia? Oh, okay. I get it. Oceania. Oh, okay. Randall Modu. Okay. You like Blade Marker. Y'all got hella different accounts, huh? Yeah. Well, shout out to our brother Randall Modu. Am I saying that right? I gotta, because I'm a very good person. I'm a very good with language. I'm pretty sure your last name is pronounced Modu, but if it's Modal, or please correct me if I'm saying it wrong. Not Oceania. Oh my God, man. That's funny to me, man. That's funny as hell to me, man. So, okay, I kind of feeling I did. What? Why have I never heard of this place? How many of y'all heard of Micronesia? I'm about to bring you up in a second, Els. How many of y'all heard of Micronesia, the Federated States of Micronesia? It's a country in Oceania. Now, y'all know that Oceania is the name of the country where the Ing Sok regime is located at in the dystopian novel by George Orwell, 1984. Right. Oceania and Eurasia were the two countries going at it. We got my brother John J with $5 on the Cash App. Shout out to the big homie John J. I don't see your name in the stream. You're on Mosey over here to the YouTube, and I'm pretty sure it's in. Yeah, John J. It's all right. You know it's in there. For some reason, it pop up in StreamYard slow. Well, we got my brother John J in the building. You know what I'm saying? We got my brother John J in the building, man. We got Randall Modu all the way from Micronesia. You hear me? The Federated States of Micronesia. The Federated States of Micronesia is a country spread across the Western Pacific Ocean, comprising more than 600 islands. Micronesia is made up of 4 island states: Pohnpei, Kosrae, Shuk, and Yap. The country is known for palm-shaded beaches, wreck-filled dives, and ancient ruins, including Nan Madol, sunken basalt temples, and burial vaults that extend out of a lagoon on Pohnpei. The capital is Palikir. The population is 115,000. President David Panuelo, and the continent is Oceania. So shout out to Micro Kid 691, aka Randall Modu, straight from out of Micronesia. Y'all say what's up to our to our Southeast Pacific Polynesian brother. You already know, John J, man. You already know, big bro. Go ahead and get a slice of that old key lime cheesecake for your boy. You hear me? Y'all say what's up to my brother John J. Shout out to the big homie John J. Enjoying a beautiful meal at Cheesecake Factory. Go ahead and get a slice of that. You know, so go ahead and get a slice of that key lime cheesecake for your boy Stacks with the Facts, John J. Number one fly god. What up, though, bro? What's the deal with you, bro? We got my man, number one fly guy. You already know, John J, man. Keep winning, man. Enjoy life, big bro. You hear me? I can't stand the Cheesecake Factory. I think their food freaking sucks. I've been to Cheesecake Factory in Ohio, Kentucky, Illinois. I've been to a couple different Cheesecake Factory, and the food sucks. That's just my personal opinion, though. You hear me? So we got my man. Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. 600 islands? I didn't know that. I've never even heard of Micronesia. Right? So we got my man, Micro Kid 691, all the way in the building. My man, number one fly guy in the building. You hear me? We got my man all the way. You said your chick love it? Oh, you got it. I know you. I thought you was solo dolo, big bro. I know you had a chick. See, that's what I'm saying, man. Real ones always gonna have a little something in it. You know what I mean? We don't might not talk about it, but you know, we're gonna talk about it. You know what I'm talking about? We got I just want to keep shouting this my man's in them out. Micro Kid 691 tapping in all the way from Micronesia. You understand me? I appreciate that, Micro Kid, man. I respect you for that, bro. And you've been tapping in for like the past 2-3 weeks too. So, man, you know you more than welcome. You can definitely hit the link and come up on the panel if you want to share your thoughts on this subject, man. Exactly, number one fly god. You feel the same? Their food sucks, man. I'm sorry. Mr. O with the info, my Joe from Chicago. What it do, bro? Yiddy. Yeah, you already know, John J. We move in silence, man. You know what I'm talking about? You never know, man. You just never know, man, because you ain't supposed to know until we let you know. How about that? You never know because you ain't supposed to know until we let you know. Yiddy. Shout out to the homie Mr. O with the info in the building. Shout out to John J in the building. Shout out to my Mod Squad brethren and sister over here on A-Real Talk and from my brother Red's platform. Y'all know how we do it, man. Real ones spreading this info in this game across the YouTube streets. You hear me? Shout out to everybody, man. I appreciate y'all for coming in. I respect y'all for coming in because y'all could be anywhere in the world, but y'all right here with me, man. And that's beautiful. That's truly beautiful. And I appreciate that. I cherish that. I hold that near and dear to my heart. And I mean that. I'm not just saying that just to say it. So are you an unintentional racist? Do you know any people who are unintentional racists? Maybe you got that one friend at your job or that you went to school with, that you got cool with. You went to school with, got cool with. You hear me? And you got that one friend from your job who just he might be from out of town. He might be from a place in the city where it's like outside of the city. He might not necessarily be from the inner city. And they say things that just, they're not saying it intentionally. They're not saying it to be mean-spirited or nasty or racist, but they're saying what they're saying because they just don't know. Unintentional racism. Right? They haven't been put up on game, so to speak. So, y'all know people like that from your job. John Jay, I'm pretty sure you run into people like that at your job in your profession. And I know my man John Jay has the wherewithal to be able to discern and decipher between the two of somebody who's just an unintentional racist, who might be from the sticks somewhere or from the suburbs somewhere, just never been around black people, but people of color or specifically different ethnicities, or somebody who's just intentionally on some racist bullshit. Which I laugh at people like that. And I spark up conversations with people like that, because one thing I have come to learn and discover, y'all, that you seem to think that people are so different and we vehemently disagree and we're just so inherently unalike, right? Some of my most enthralling conversations has been with people who thought they were racist, but after having a conversation with a guy such as myself, they figured out they just have been indoctrinated with racism. I know you do, John Jay, in your profession. I know you do in your profession. I know you come across this probably on a daily basis. So we ain't going to waste no time, y'all, man. We're going to bring my man L up in about another 6 minutes, 7 minutes. You know what I'm saying? We got to do the 30-minute monologue joint. Shout out to everybody in the chat, in the comment section. Everybody in the clouds watching. Y'all could at least hit that goddamn like button, man. You ain't supposed to, man. Because I know I ain't. You know what I'm saying? No, not, at my job, you know what I'm saying? I go to work and I do my job. I do my job to the best of my ability and I leave. I'm not there to be friends. I'm not there to make friends. I'm not there to kowtow. I'm not there to kiss ass. I'm not there to be rude or disrespectful. I'm there to do my job, what I get paid my money to do, and leave. A lot of people, because I'm just a charismatic, magnetic type of guy, a lot of people be trying to befriend me at work, and I just be telling them, like, I let them know, like, I don't be really trying to kick it for real. You know what I'm saying? Nothing personal. It's a lot of nice looking chicks, oddly enough, that work at my job. Uncle Dick in their building was good. And, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. You couldn't pay me in this era if I was to be entertaining it. You couldn't pay me in this era to entertain messing with a chick that I work with nowadays anyway. I don't go down how good she looked, how big her booty was, how thick she was, how pretty she was. I wouldn't care about none of that. I wouldn't dare try to talk to no chick I work with or reciprocate a chick that I work with trying to holler at me. See, it comes a point in your life, young brethren out there, especially, but to all my brethren, where you got to have some D-discipline. You hear me talk about this all the time on my brother Red's platform. Shout out to my brother Red Supreme. Hear me? D-discipline, y'all. Right? Yeah, I mean, it's not only does it never work out, Fly God, my boy. You hear me? My guy, brethren. Not only does it not work out, it's just not worth the risk nowadays with all this Me Too stuff going on and all of this, you know what I'm saying? You could just be accused of things and all this situation. I wouldn't even compromise myself like that. Because if we have a job, most of us, our job is our main source of income. We get our health insurance from there and everything. We absolutely cannot afford to put that at risk for no goddamn pussy, man. That's some game for y'all young brothers out there. Y'all go to work, man. Listen, Ignore the girls you work with. I don't care how fat they are. I don't care how big their booty is. I don't care how nice them titties sit up. I don't care how flat they sit. I don't care how thick they are, how pretty they are, how good they be smelling. Andrea, baby, what's good? I don't care about none of that. When you go to work, if you work, you go do your job, right? You do your job to the best of your ability with pride. I don't care where you work at, right? Y'all heard what Big Bro John say, Big John J. My big bro John J always got some raw shit to say. Facts. Don't get your honey where you get your money. You know, Grandpappy always told me that. My dad used to tell me that when I was a young boy. Ever mix business with pleasure, man. Ever. Don't ever do it. You know what I'm saying? To y'all young brothers out there, especially, and to all you corny ass, no coochie getting ass niggas that just be so thirsty that y'all got to resort to, I ain't going to say resort. Because, you know, back in the day when I was young and working at certain places, you know what I'm saying, when working at some of the places some of my homies was when they was working and I was in the streets, I probably been smashing hella chicks too. You feel me? Yeah, don't do that, man. Listen to what Andrew said. Listen to y'all, man. To y'all dudes that's our age who, you know, but to the young brothers especially, do not, and I repeat, do not entertain any females, women, right? Where you work at. I don't care how fine they are. Listen, I got to cam up for this one too, man. I don't care how fine they are. I don't care how thick she is. I don't care how fat her ass is, how nice them titties sit up, her hair be done. She be looking good, smelling good. She be flirting with you. You know you can get her. That's going to make them want you even more. But even if you see them out and about at the local watering hole, the mall, Walmart, a gas station, I'm talking about Kroger. You hear me, man? Let it go. Go get you a girl from somewhere else, man. My brother King L saying what's up there. We about to bring L's up in like 2 minutes, man. And this ain't nothing but water, man. I keep my water in my styrofoam cup because it keeps it cold. And I don't really like ice in my water. You hear me? But yeah, though, man, y'all, you know what I'm saying? I don't even, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know why the spirit just moved me to even speak on that just now. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean? Exactly. And that's exactly why. Now, I know as a young man, y'all, and I don't even know why I'm talking about this. The spirit just moved me to talk about this. You hear me? It's so many ladies out here, fellas, man. Y'all go out there, no matter where you from, it's going to be more women than it is men. You hear me? So when y'all go to work, wherever city you live in or wherever job you work at, do not interact, engage, fraternize is what the term used to be called. I don't even think they use that term anymore. Don't fraternize with the females at your job. I don't care how much they sweat in you. I don't care how much they flirt with you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Have some dick discipline. You hear me? Do not interact with them anything outside of a professional setting. And if you see them out and about, nope, keep it professional at all times. If they try to get at you through social engineering, keep it professional. I'm not saying don't accept somebody's friend request. I'm saying don't take it to the next level. Don't do it, young fellas. Please believe me and trust me when I tell you this. Do not do it. Now, I would normally not say this, but I'm just saying this now, given the current environment of the workplace with the Me Too and all of that crazy stuff, man. And the sexual harassment and all of that, y'all. I don't want y'all to become a victim, you know what I'm saying, because you don't know how to control your penis or your lust. So my advice nowadays, especially if you're going to work, which most of us do not, I repeat, do not engage, interact, fraternize with any females you work with, in or out of the job, ever. Leave it alone. Don't do it. Get you a chick from somewhere else. And I'm going to just say that right there. You know what I'm saying? All right. I just wanted to, I don't even know what made me say that. You know what I mean? That's just the most high The spirit just moved me to talk about that. So that means that was for somebody. One of you young brothers that might be tapping in from the clouds, man. You got that girl at your job, no matter where you work at. You know what I'm saying? You work in an office, she be wearing a little skirt. She come in thick, smelling good, ass everywhere. You know what I'm talking about? Let it go. You work in a warehouse setting like how I do, you know what I'm saying? When girls be coming to work with their leggings on, man, and they spandex on, you know what I'm talking about? Ass is just so fat. You understand me? Don't do it. You feel me? I think an L over there. Wait. I'm saying if you work in a medical field like my brother John J, and the nurses and the STNAs and the LPNs and all the N's and the L's and all that stuff, be walking through there with them scrubs on and them ass and them thighs, just be, God damn it, you understand me, man? You hear me? Don't do it, especially with them type of chicks. Them nursing chicks will box your ass so quick because they real cool with the girls in HR. You hear me? And they will box your ass up and get you up through just because you ain't played the game fair or for some other reason. So in essence, man, just don't do it. I ain't gonna really say nothing to the chicks because y'all tend to have control over stuff like this. Y'all tend to not really mess with dudes who y'all work with anyway. Some of y'all do, but not most of y'all do. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to my brethren, I can understand like working at somewhere where John Jay works. I could only imagine the amounts of thick ass thighs and big old booties down there in Atlanta just bouncing around in them scrubs. Man, I could just imagine it right now. Can't you, L, bro? I'm talking about in the A where the girls is just like super thick. The ones that's real anyway. Right. You already know, John Jay, say less, brother. You ain't even got to ask twice, my nigga. You feel me? And like I said, I don't even know why I'm talking about this, man. We this show is on a whole different subject, but the spirit is leading me to speak about this right now, so I'm going to speak on it. You hear me? To my young brothers out there, you hear me? I think my brother John Jay gonna come up and drop some gang on this for y'all, man. Just don't do it. Coming from your big bro, your brethren, Virgil, Stacks with the Facts, do not do it. I don't care how fine she is. I don't care how thick she is, how bad she is, how pretty she is. I don't care about any of that. Do not do it. I'm about to bring L and John Jay up. L, John Jay, what's up with y'all? How y'all doing, man?
Hey, what's up, Virg? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you real crispy, brother. Go ahead and talk to him.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna stay on too long, man. I appreciate you allowing me on your platform, man.
You already know this your platform too, big bro. You welcome anytime, John Jay.
Yeah, man. I think because I was having this conversation at work today with these young brothers, man,
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
and
See how the spirit
and
work?
yeah, and so many brothers, especially in healthcare, come in and they'll think you at the nightclub,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of them they just don't know, man, because ain't nobody told them. And then when a guy like me try to pull them aside, they'll think I'm hating. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
bruh, I ain't hating. You about to
Right.
lose a $60,000 a year job you just got over some chick because you thinking this is the nightclub. And like you said, man, all them chicks, they cool with HR, and I didn't seen it happen, because I've been in healthcare almost closing in on 20 years, and every time I try to pull a brother aside, he'll get caught up. Then he'll come to me after he didn't got in the situation. I'll say, well, man, what happened? Well, this chick said I said this, and now I got to go to HR. And he said, what you think they going to do? I said, man, you about to get suspended for 2 weeks, and they going to fire you. And then his eyes looked like a deer in the headlight because he looked shocked. But he said, well, I ain't, all I said was, well, you said too much, man. You should have just been here getting your money and then, do what you want to do elsewhere, man. But so many young brothers come in and they just fall victim to it, man. And it's sad because they just don't know because nobody has never told them. But shout out to you, Virg, for doing this, man. I'm gonna jump back off, man. I'm here with cheesecake, so doing that. But I'm gonna have to dip out though, man. But
No doubt,
but
big
anyway,
bro.
man.
Listen here, big bro.
Yeah.
John Jay, you know what I'm saying? This is your platform as well, brother. You more than welcome to ever, you more than welcome to come in here and speak your piece on whatever we talk about. And you're gonna get priority, brother. Enjoy your evening, enjoy your meal as well, man.
Thanks for coming through.
All right, big bro. Shout out to the big homie John J, man. I'm telling you, when I do make my way down there to A, man, me and John J gonna probably like his Father's Day. You feel me?
Oh, yeah. Well, he in Atlanta. Of course, it's gonna be a crazy.
Yeah, but we ain't gonna be doing none of that weird stuff y'all niggas be doing. Y'all go to A. We gonna go do some grown man player type shit when we go down there, because I know my brother John J know where the player spots to go. L, what's good with you, bro?
What's good, bro?
Man, you know what it is, man. I'm sitting over here chilling, chopping. Like I said, I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know where that, you know, why I was talking about that started off like that. You feel me? It just like I say, the spirit just moved me just to speak on that. You know, say my brother John J, I know he could speak on that, but I just was compelled to say something about that. So, you know, y'all young brothers, you know, so I already know John J, y'all young brothers out there especially, don't ruin the possible good situation or your job. You need to take care of what you need to take care of just for some cheeks, man. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Now, L, before we get into the topic of the night, Project Leroy was good. L, I know you can speak on this because you've been working in certain various fields where you interact with women in the workplace, and I know you got some experience on this, probably on both sides too. So, you know, since we're talking about it and we had John J come up and bless us, you might as well go ahead and drop something on there too as well, because I know you got some experience with this.
Yeah, bro. You know, I worked in everything from collections to I was a manager. I did systems administration. I did loan origination with mortgages, and now I'm doing logistics. So, although, you know, especially in collections, where I started out, I mean, like you said, that's like, I mean, if you think that nursing is like a club, I mean, collections, you probably know a lot of people in the city just alone that did some form of collections, whether it was student loans, whatever it may have been. But we used to call them, because we used to even have like the call center cabarets. That's how much it used to be like throughout the city. You went to one call center, you probably went to all of them. Like, so it was like you knew everybody, you knew certain call centers, like they call it Club Chase up at Easton. I remember before I worked at Chase, because I did my loan originations there at Chase when I first started in the mortgage industry. And I used to drop E off when me and E stayed together. And I'd be like, bro, they ain't allowed to wear that shit at work. Because, I mean, they will be like really rocking some crazy stuff.
Right.
I'm like, all right. And then I used to work at GC, which is like what we call ghetto collections over here in Wilmington Road. And yeah, I'm going to just tell you, like, I know when I got up in there, that was like my first, well, wasn't my first call center job, but that was like the first one where I was like out there, and I was like, man, listen, like something out the pot. But I was young girls though. I was young girls. That's when I was DJing. I was out here. I was wild and I indulged. I did everything opposite of what you just said.
I know you did. We all did.
Nah, fun, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like you said, when you get older, like you really understand. But also, I'm gonna say this. Now, you guys, y'all got the way you move too can also be the fault to a moment. Like, you know, a cat like me, like the way I used to move, like people might have known that I might have been messing, but they also didn't know because I always kept mine. Like you asked me a question, you ain't gonna get shit out of it. If anybody knew I was messing with anybody, it was because she said something. I ain't gonna say nothing to nobody.
Right.
You know, it's gonna be undetailed like a motherfucker. Like, nah, we cool. Like, that's my homie. Like, that's it. Like, I ain't never going. So with me, I always kept my shit real clean, so nobody could ever come back and the cats who did whatever. Like, but at the end of the day, yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to shit where you eat. Me being a manager in the workplace when I was at Alliance Data. I was a manager for the collections department actually, and I used to have to separate certain people because, you know, relationship going wrong or whatever, or even like me being a manager.
Wow.
You know, like I ain't gonna lie, like being a manager is a whole different. Like for some reason, the power roles, women like they really like the power roles. And I was like, I'm 100% in my relationship at this time, so I wasn't messing with nobody. But let me tell you, like, I ain't gonna lie, temptation wasn't tempting. And if I wasn't a strong-willed person, and yeah, I mean, you talking about, I mean, I get it, you know, just like when I was out there and I was single, I would test women with men, just like, you know, women test me. You know, and I get it. It ain't nothing wrong to shoot your shot. Like, that's what people do. Like, you know, I like the confidence. I'll smile. I might even flirt back a little bit, but at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Right.
Nowadays, it's a little different. You do have the
It's a lot different, man.
all different. Like the things.
Hold on real quick, L. Shout out to John Jay with another 15 on the ass snap. The snash snap. My brother John Jay. Shout out to Lance Parker in the building. You know, send my brother Project Leroy and all of that. Go ahead, L.
Nah, he must be out the Long Islands. Keep sipping them, bro. Yeah, I mean, sip slow. Project Leroy in the building. Since we stopping it up, I want to definitely salute to him.
Yeah.
But you know,
big salute to Project Leroy, man. You know, he rock with the real ones, man.
Yeah, super happy. But one thing I'll say is, like, you know, on that subject is that you definitely want to be aware of your surroundings. If you are approaching women in these type of environments, you have to let it happen very, very organic.
Right.
In the most organicest form as possible. You almost want to lay back to have her make moves, because as we just heard, you know, with John Jay, you could get set up easily if you fuck around. If you out there and you fucking with multiple chicks in the same job and you piss one off and she want to be on that bullshit, why would you risk your job? You know, never risk your money for that. You know, that's one thing I'll say. Don't risk your money for outside pleasure. That's one thing I always used to live by. Like, you know, we used to call it, like, it's funny, like when I used to get like a pig or something, I guess it was different for birds. We was in different gangs when we was coming up. But before I would do anything, I'll have to bag it up. And you got to take care of your money first. Like, I bag the whole pig up before I make any moves. All right, y'all about to go out? All right, I'll catch y'all. Let me finish up with this.
I ain't try to kick it, man.
Yeah, so it's kind of the same thing. Like, you know, you focus on your work first, stack your stuff up. And it's crazy. I was just talking to a young cat just in the sauna today when I was at the gym. And he was telling me, like, yeah, I had a girl earlier, but I wasn't ready for it. So I had to back off of it. And, you know, I'm just trying to set myself right, build my foundation. I said, you smart. I was like, at 28, you're very smart, you focused, you got the right ideas. Now, what I will say is don't miss out on love, you know, because sometimes we could do that, putting our head down and maybe working too much, not enjoying life enough. So make sure that you are enjoying life and you are rolling at a pace where you can see the signs that are placed in front of you, because a lot of us get jaded in that. But at the same time, don't let that be your driving factor. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost, when pussy is the driving factor for the way that they move. And we've seen a lot of cats like that we grew up with, where pussy would make them lose friends. Like, they would be so bad they try to talk to the homies' girls and all this. And I'm like, bro, there's too many women out here. But, you know, some cats, it's just strictly about pussy. And that's all they care about, unfortunately.
Consume with the spirit of lust, man.
Yeah, they might get money. You know what I mean? They might get money. They, you know, I ain't gonna say they ain't get money, but if that's the way you move, for one, you're gonna lose a lot of friends. Like, I even beat for one of my friends before over that, because it just was the way that he kind of portrayed himself and the way he tried to talk now around women. I just didn't feel that. Like,
right.
You know, I don't like when you try to make yourself feel, you know, boost yourself up just in the presence of pussy.
Yeah.
And this all comes together because it's basically in your job, people feeling themselves, they go for that. And like I said, all in all, just don't risk your money for that fuzzy temptress, as I would say. That pretty fuzzy temptress. Don't let that jade you, because a lot of you guys, y'all letting it jade you. Don't do that.
Like I said, man, my suggestion, my counsel, that none of them at wherever you work, any chick that works at your job, don't talk to them. Don't try to holler at them. Don't, if they try to get at you, you see them out and about, don't be smashing them and bagging them outside of work either. No, don't do that. Don't mess with them at all. Period. So yeah, man, we you know what I'm saying, that was a beautiful thing to have that, man. You know, like I said,
That's dope that it came up because it's crazy. Like I said, I was just talking to a homie in the gym, and I was
right.
giving him some tips, like, bro, hey, build your foundation. Then you know, after that, the relationship will come.
Yeah, man. Like John J. be saying, man, focus on building your kingdom, man.
Yeah,
If you build it, listen. Remember in the Field of Dreams, if you build it, the bitches will come.
And it's true. It's true to life.
That's a fact, though.
It's definitely true to life.
You feel me? Now, to the subject of tonight's show, are you an unintentional racist? Now, you know what I'm saying? My brother L, like I say, I pay homage and give credit where it's due. L came up with the topic for this show, y'all. You hear me? And when he sent me in the text, I was kind of sleepy when he sent it. I was kind of half asleep, so I really didn't really get the gist of what he was really trying to say, what he wanted the topic to be. So, you know, I had to call him, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to sit there, L, you know what I'm saying? What made you think about this? And as from your perspective, what do you think an unintentional racist is?
So before I get to that, I want to say where it came from. And I watched a show called Big Brother. And I'm not sure if y'all familiar. It comes on CBS Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And it's just a show, a group of people all placed in a house from all different walks of life. And they have to live in this house basically from the time they get in there, and they go through competitions. After every week, they vote somebody out.
Right.
So it's a strategy of being able to be physically and mentally capable to complete these competitions, win these competitions, but also have a social game to have people to where they don't want to vote you in, but also not appear too strong. So it's like a little cycle of life all in this house, because it's the way you get to life. Like, yeah, you want to appear strong, but you don't want to appear too strong. You want to appear social, but you don't want to appear too social. And it's a game. It's a social game. And like I said, you get people from all walks of life, and they just drop you in this house. Bam. And you got to live with these people. Eat, sleep, shit, everything for about 45 days. And I'm watching the show, and I've been watching the whole season, and I noticed how the one dude, you know, it was last season where, of course, after the pandemic, and I don't know why, I kind of didn't like this because I like the integrity of the show, but the black people on the last season show all formed together and formed what they called the cookout. It was an alliance. All the black people in the house, basically, they teamed up with other people outside of each other, act like they went together. But their whole goal was basically to come together at the end of the show and be all black people that have the first black winner. And that's what happened last season. Now, to me, I think the person could have won without that. It was kind of a hindrance to the game. But I understood it, you know, with all the times. But me being a game player, I just like to win just off of the regular game being played the way it is. But basically, that's the way the game is. So we think about last season. So now you have a white guy. I believe he comes from Utah in a Mormon type community. So if you know, Utah is probably just mostly just white people. You know, I don't know. I've never been there, so I'm not going to stand it. But
hold on real quick. Hold on. Let me interrupt you real quick. We got Cash App $10 joint from my brother Project Leroy, and we got a dub from my brother Uncle Diggity in the building. Shout out to them brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? Showing some support to the collection plate over at the demonstration with my brothers right there, man. You already know, man. Hey, man, we're going to put together a demonstration, man. Real ones. We're going to link up. I know me and my brother Ed, we're going to make something happen. you know what I'm saying, something for real, something official. We're gonna have a real ones link up demonstration for real, man. I'm gonna get in contact with Red and we're gonna really put something together, man, for the brothers, man, because we got a lot of real ones that support us over here, man. We can have a serious mastermind situation going on. But yeah, El, go ahead, bro. I'm in the interrupt. Go ahead, brother.
No, I mean basically what happened in the show this time, like I said, the dude Kyle, he from Utah. He come from a Mormon family. Basically, never had any real interaction with black people ever. So he was insinuating as a gameplay, hey, maybe all the black people in the house are people of color, because he even threw some people that weren't black. But anybody basically that was of color, whether they were Spanish, whatever, he was just kind of hinting like, maybe they might have an alliance. Now, I get this. It's a game, and it did happen last season. I understand that. So I don't think that was completely racist. So then he comes back again and kind of says it and pushes it. Hey, I think that this is, these people are in this alliance, and he basically is pulling this cat to the side, and he points out all the black people. He doesn't really say black versus white, but then he also says, well, I think is we should get an alliance with this, and this person, which was all white. So it created a divide to where people that were white didn't feel comfortable having that conversation with him. So they sat on it a couple of weeks, but then come out and tell the one black dude, like, hey, this is a conversation that happened. He kind of was thinking about the cookout from last season, the All Black Alliance. And then he kind of said he didn't say he wanted to form an all white alliance, but the alliance he said he wanted us to be in would have been all white. And so it started a discussion in that house. So that whole show was basically based off of that moment in the show. And they had a whole discussion about it, broke it down. And he even had a moment where he cried, and I understood, because I know the difference between somebody that's racist and somebody that may not have been in that type of environment, or they may not understand how people move in that environment or culture or whatever you want to call it. But, emotions sometimes get the best of people, and they did. Some people came at him, but for the most part, they understood. But he just wanted to say, like, oh, I'm not a racist. And it was like, yeah, you're not a racist, and we don't think you're racist. But what you said and what you did was exactly as Andrew said. It was kind of ignorant. And, you probably should have, just approached the people. And if not, then, leave it at what it was. But it came to me, and I started thinking, that's when I texted Virgil immediately after I watched it. And it was late, because I was probably watching like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I just didn't want to let it slip, because it was something that I thought it's something that happens a lot. And it happens it's not just a black or white thing. Like, I've done it at times where I probably said some things where I was insensitive to what I was saying. And it could be towards, Chinese people, Asian, whatever. I may have said some things. I know I have. And I know I'm not racist by any means. Like, I was just having a discussion with my mom today, and we were talking about race and things like that. I don't even know how it came about, but somehow me and my mom's discussion was about race. And she even, they never.
You said you and your mom's?
Yeah, me and my mom.
All right.
Yeah. We were just having a discussion, and somehow it came about race. And, that's one thing I always say about my parents, because my dad, he was
Big Don was off the chain, man.
Yeah, he was a little bit of everything. And though he wasn't racist, I think I definitely could have some racial undertone to what he would say to people. But his best friends were white. Both his best friends were white. And but if he got mad or something, like, this ain't me, but I'm gonna just say, like, he would say certain, matter of fact, I ain't gonna say it, but he would call like Indian dudes that wears the turbans name that they don't like. And he would just say shit. Like, my dad was very ignorant when it came to the terminology and what he would say when he got angry. So he was not a racist.
Right.
He will say some shit that will make you be like, oh, yes, he's a racist. But I could really stand to say he wasn't. But that's the thing, like I'm gonna send over this article. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it in here so Stacks can bring it up. But it's a wiki on how to tell if you're a racist.
Right.
So
I'm pretty sure that's some bullshit right there.
Yeah. Now it does bring up some good points.
It gives some good points though. Let me read this definition real quick, L.
Yeah,
all right, now we have a two definitions for racist, a noun version, and we all know what a noun is, right? I don't have to tell y'all what a noun is, right? And we have an adjective. And I think the adjective is kind of interesting. A prejudice against or antagonistic toward a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. That's very interesting right there. All right, a noun, a person who is prejudiced against or antagonistic toward people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. All right. Now I'm gonna read that again for y'all, man. Right? I'm gonna read a little bit slower this time, though, and see if y'all catch the action words, right? A person who is prejudiced against or antagonistic toward people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. Right? Now, when you think about the word ethnic, see, in the word racist, which is the base word race, you feel me? It's kind of like when you think about the word racist, race and culture or race and ethnicity is not the same thing. So, you know what I'm saying? This is why I tell y'all to look at these words and look them up and study these words. And when y'all break this stuff down, y'all get the actual meaning of what this stuff means. You see that a lot of these words is just a whole bunch of gobbledygook. Right. Me and Garnell Wallace, what's good? Yes, that caught my attention, Andrew. Antagonistic. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But racism definitely exists, though. We ain't gonna sit up here but it exists in the way that we have been manipulated, so to speak, programmed, so to speak, to perceive it.
It's crazy.
That makes sense to y'all.
It's crazy that we say that, but dude, I never felt like race was real. It was something created.
Right.
But racism is, since it was created and it's the way that we move in society,
yeah,
racism exists off of the false narrative of race.
Exactly.
What really is race?
Right.
I mean, who made up race? When did it start? It wasn't something that goes back. It don't go back to the Bible. Like, it ain't in no old books or no ancient texts or even texts that go back more than over 100 years ago. When did they start? When did race originate? That's one thing I always, because race wasn't something that always was talked about. It was something that I felt like just was started maybe in the last 100 years. So yeah.
It's interesting, right? And this is why I tell y'all to look up words, man, because when y'all look up words, it brings some clarity to them. Race, a competition between runners, horses, vehicles, boats, etc., to see which is the fastest in covering a set course. A series of races for horses or dogs, held at a fixed time on a set course. A situation in which individuals or groups compete to be first to achieve a particular objective. Now that's interesting. The course of the sun or moon through the heavens. A strong or rapid current flowing through a narrow channel in the sea or river. A water channel, especially one built to lead water to or from a point where it is energized or utilized, as in a mill or mine. A smooth ring-shaped groove or guide in which a ball bearing or roller bearing runs. Compete with another or others to see who is fastest at covering a set course or achieving an objective. Compete regularly in races as a sport or a leisure activity. Prepare and enter an animal or vehicle in races as a sport or a leisure activity. Move or progress swiftly or at full speed. Notice that none of these definitions of race have anything to do with skin color or even biological entities that are not animals, don't say about no humans. So that's a good question, El. What is race? Now, when we look up what race is defined as, it ain't got nothing to do with groups of people being a certain skin color.
That's every time I look at it, that's what I get. So I'm always confused on like where did it originate from? Like that's like one of the things I never understood where it originated from because nobody really tells you when it originated or where it originated.
See, this is why I say, y'all, this is why I created this platform, because I know my infinite mind will attract other infinite minds like my brother, Project Leroy. Right? Exactly. Race was a classification based on skin tone and or feature. Racism is a competition to keep or assume assets to one's own group.
And that's really the only way that I could think of it. And like I said, it really has to be something that only existed in the last 100 years or so. It can't be something that was even more than 200 years old. Because I don't even think in slavery they looked at it as race. Not to my knowledge. I could be wrong, but I don't even think they was putting this in race categories at that time. It was introduced back in 1859. Okay. Yeah, I know Dr. Paul Anderson. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. But that's what I'm saying. It can't be that old. Like, I didn't feel like it was that old.
No, but the basis of what I'm saying is, though, man, when we see how we start building it and everybody start adding their information, you understand what I'm saying, man? Shout out to Andrea for dropping the 10 in the collection plate. Thank you, baby. You already know what it is, man. We support the real ones over here, man. You know what I'm talking about? We got everybody in the building. Shout out to all y'all. Hit that like button and all of that, man. You know what I'm saying? So I just encourage y'all to read these words and get these definitions so y'all can have an inner outer understanding of what you read and what's being put in front of you. And you know what I'm saying, you can break it down and you know what I'm saying, understand what really is being said. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I did that. That's why I'll be doing that, though, y'all, man. That's what helped me understand a lot of stuff and be able to see through a lot of bullshit they put in front of me, because I have a very good understanding of language. You hear me? It's very powerful. It's the very thing that keeps us locked in this motherfucker. You hear me? So, yeah, though, man. Now, when it comes to being an unintentional racist, now, right? Notice that Project Leroy, me and Garnet on Water spoke briefly on what race and racism is and the difference thereof, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, to be an unintentional racist, though, I think that is a misnomer as well as an oxymoron, right? Because just because you say something that may have stereotypical, I dare say, you know, disrespectful or even, you know what I'm saying, you know, derogatory, you feel me? Inflammatory words or statements, you know what I'm saying? Like if that wasn't your intent behind what you said, you know what I'm saying? And this goes all into being offended and choosing to be offended. Because I mean, of course, and it would be common courtesy to be like, well, you know, I didn't know or whatever, you know. And that's where game come in, y'all. You feel me? Just think of people who are unintentional racists or people who ain't got no game. Ain't nobody put them up on game about nothing due to most likely probably where they're from. You feel, or where they were raised. They just wasn't exposed to certain things. You understand what I'm saying? So they, you know what I'm saying? They don't know how to respond to certain situations when they're in certain groups, especially demographically, or not even that. They just never interacted with certain other groups of people. So they, you got to think about where they're basing their experience and knowledge of different groups of people from, being from a place where they don't interact on a normal basis with other groups of people. And that's where your integrity as another fellow human got to come into place. You know what I'm saying? That's where you got to not, you know what I'm saying, allow yourself to be easily offended. You know what I'm talking about?
And you're right, Project Leroy. There's no difference when you crack open different eggs, whether it's brown or whatever it may be, speckled egg is gonna come out with the same clear yolk with a yellow yolk.
Yeah.
No matter what. And that's where I think, to me, it's always dumb as hell. Like when you hear people talking, and like you said earlier, Virgil, a lot of time people don't understand that we're more similar in ways that we may think that we're not.
Right.
But because of how you was raised or what environment you was in, or maybe the information you were subject and privy to, or maybe just the people around you you grew up, your parents could have been racist, and you know that's just what you always heard. Like, you know, black people this, black people that, or Asian people. You know, Asians might say the same thing. I know they're a kind of racist part. And you know, it's just something that I can't actually hold them 100% accountable for, I guess, because I wouldn't want nobody to hold me accountable for information that I didn't know. But also, I try my best not to trade off, especially when I'm in groups with people. Like, I can have these questions to myself, and it still don't make me a racist. But you know, I ask myself a lot of questions. That's cool. It's cool for you to ask yourself questions. Now, the difference between just asking yourself questions and being a racist to me is when you actually commit and do racist acts, such as you may avoid certain people just because of the color or what ethnicity they are or whatever it may be. You may avoid a certain business. You may avoid doing certain things because of that other ethnicity. That's when I feel like you fall into that category. You may have certain biases. And one thing I always like to always say, y'all can't really put biases on anybody because every ethnicity group has been involved in that same bias that you're probably trying to place on somebody else.
Right.
I probably could tell you somebody from 3 or 4 different races that's committed that same thing that you might want to try to put a bias on. So I always say that biases to me are kind of silly. Racism, one of the ultimate silliest clown things ever, because at the end of the day, you know, you look at it down the line, you might be racist, and it's always that story that we always hear where the racist white man's daughter is dating a black guy, or vice versa, or the family that was like the pro-black family. And I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story. It's funny now. It may not have been funny to my family back then, or my aunt. I have an aunt that's a pro-black aunt. Now I'm gonna came up with this. Pro-black aunt, my aunt Mary. And she was like super pro-black, going to all the black rallies, taking me to the Afrocentric, to Juneteenth way back then when I was a kid, just really impounding me in straight pro-black ways. But I remember.
You got my man Glitch the Guarantee in the building. What up, Glitch?
What's good, bro? Any all day. But bro, I don't know what made me say this. Maybe it just is what I always seen on the TV. But I remember I told her, I said, I'm gonna marry me a blonde white woman. Like, I like that. And I straight said it.
Not a blonde white woman.
Oh my God, I straight said it to the most pro-black. I could have said that to my mom and dad, and they just would have been like, all right, whatever you want. Like, but I said this to my pro-black black eye. Like she wrote books, black books. She
Oh
writes
yeah.
for she had like one of the only black publicized magazines back in the day. She used to write for that. She was one of the editors over there. And yeah, so she was like well educated, top notch pro black person. And I said that to her, and I remember the disappointment in her face. And I didn't get it because, like I said, in my household, my parents was always like, you know, you like who you like, you be who you want to be with, you interact with who you want to interact with. Like my parents was never anything taught racially. Like, you know, you're not better than anybody. You're the same as everybody. You know, yes, you could be called a black king with all that, but you're no better than anybody.
Right.
That's what I was instilled. So, you know, it's just crazy. Think about to that old memory and how she looked at me. She was like, wow. It just was crazy. But that was just the way I thought, you know? And I've always kept my palate open whenever I dated. I never controlled it to one race. My friends were never just all black guys. Like I always had a huge group of friends from Asian to black to white to whoever. And that's just the way I rock. That's the way I step. That's the way I move. I never put myself in that box. For one, as you can see, I'm light skinned as heck. I have very European roots. My grandfather went to the army and listed himself as Caucasian. That's how light skinned he was. So I'm very much mixed myself. So, you know, I don't think it would be right for me to even be racist. Like my grandma's side is Cherokee. Like she's straight 100% Cherokee. You know, pure native. So my family is mixed up. You know, straight mixed. Like I got family members that straight blue eyes, light skin, blue eyes. You wouldn't even know that they was black if they didn't tell you. They look straight white. Grandmother, great grandmother was straight pale, lighter than some of the white people you might know.
Right.
So I know about my family, and even though my family never likes to tell that side of the history, they'll never tell you that you got white people mixed in our family. But it's like we're not done. But every time I've asked about it, they always start getting amnesia. But when you go to the black side of the family, we could pull pictures up from back in the slave days. You know, I tell well, all right. So one thing that did come out in the family last year is that we're descendants of Thomas Jefferson. My great, or however many great grandmothers basically was raped by Thomas Jefferson. And she was going to come out and tell people about it. And he killed her. And that was a story that came out in my family last year. And if I was to show you a picture of my uncle, side by side, and my grandfather and my uncles and my great uncles, side by side to Thomas Jefferson, you'd be like, damn, that's a black white man or white black man, whatever. Like
Not a black white man.
the features, bro, you can't like. It's almost like you can't deny it. So when I heard the story started circulating around the family like a couple of years ago, and it was something that the family tried to keep hid. You know, I got a lot of powerful people, like a lot of judges and lawyers and Congress people on that side of the family that I don't talk about. Like, you know, they never rock with me. I don't rock with them that much, but I know about that side of it, and it gets deep. A lot of shit that you talk about is shit they probably involved in. Like when I go to New York and DC and all that, they are plugged in everywhere. Like, my aunt was one of the first black women on the Supreme Court. My great aunt. You know what I mean? Like my great uncle has a street name in Queens. He ain't even from Queens. He's from here. He's from Queens, but he wrote for the New York Times and was a published author. You know, my uncle publishes poem books. Like we're really into that, but at the end of the day, like we're a real mixed family, even though we're portrayed as a pro-black family, as I would say. It's very good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying? That's like
maybe you could maybe I'll let you do a breakdown of my family.
yeah, man. You know, I'll get straight to it, man. But you know, Thomas Jefferson, he was, you know,
he was out there. He was thugging. He was
Thomas
thugging.
Jefferson was an evil guy. He was an evil person.
He was thugging. Yeah, he had her clip.
But
the lady, he had her clip.
Right.
As soon as she said she was gonna tell people.
Hey, that's how that type stuff go, man. You know what I mean? Especially back in them days, man. You know, black people was considered. Some black people was considered straight property, like a cow or a chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the type of level of evil Thomas Jefferson was is almost unspeakable, man. A very evil guy. But when we think about race and racism, though, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me just say this: just because you say some racist shit doesn't make you a racist, man.
Not at all.
Just like if you say some real shit, don't mean you a real motherfucker. Just because you a gangster, say some gangster shit, don't, or even if you do some gangster shit, don't necessarily mean you a gangster, man. You feel me? My man Project Leroy funny as hell, man. That nigga funny, man. Nah, but I'm just saying that to say this, y'all, that you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the topic of unintentional racism, right? Or saying things that are maybe still considered racially biased or racially inappropriate or disrespectful. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? A lot of these words we be using, you know what I'm saying? I think when it comes to us living in like the inner city and more populated areas, we tend to be a little bit more privy to you know what I'm saying, these societal tropes than, let's say, people who are not. Because just because you were from an area that's not the metropolitan area, that doesn't mean where you come from is going to be racist. You might just come because, you know, I done been to some of these towns where it's predominantly white people, but they're not necessarily a racist town. They just, like, it's a lot of white people there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They're not necessarily racist. They just don't normally interact with or live around black folks.
Yeah, there's some places where they won't see a black person unless they leave that city or town.
Man, so I'm gonna say this.
TV.
Bro, I'm gonna say this too, though, and to different places that I've traveled and had the privilege to travel to in my life, I've met white folks, man, who in mostly white towns, and you know they weren't racist at all. I'm talking about strange white people didn't know me from a can of paint, welcomed me to their home and feeding me brisket, baked beans, and mashed and baked beans, and got them collard greens. That was actually good. So you know, man, when I think about he is,
where's you at?
A illusory construct of this bullshit ass matrix, man. Because although I know it exists, and people always say this to me, you know, this is a conversation perfect even to talk about this too. People are because I say racism is an illusion, right? Now, for you to even hear me say that and be able to over enter out extra saying when I say that, and when you hear me say that, get what I'm saying when I say that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. But to y'all who don't know what I mean, what you mean racism is an illusion? Use your wider thinking. Don't think deep about it. Think wide open. Right? You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all not ready to hear the answer or even be open to hearing an explanation of why racism is an illusion.
But it's really what we just was talking about.
Huh?
I mean, it's kind of what I was just talking about not too long ago.
Yeah. It was. But see how even when you spoke on it then, it went over people's head. You feel me?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? I just brought that out to say that, you know, it's one of those things that's like a double negative, a glitch in the matrix, so to speak. Shout out to my brother Glitch the Guarantee. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? It's one of those oxymoronic things. It's one of those
2020 got me seeing so clear.
Yeah. It's one of those cognitive dissonance things, man. You feel me?
Definitely.
You know what I mean? You have to have a wide thinking ability to be able to understand how racism is an illusion.
But
But
you know, one reason why I think it does exist, in some sense, it helps people with what would I say, with weak character, have a crutch they could lean on if shit in life don't go right. They could say something like, "Oh, it's because of these people I can't get to what I want to get to." It's a weak mindset way for people to have extra crutch in life. And it's horrible, like, you know, because all the movies you watch, whether American X, Higher Learning, these are some of my favorite ones that I like to watch. I watch probably every 3 or 4 months.
right,
You know, American X is a good one because it shows the transformation of a guy who grew up in the Aryan Nation, went to jail, ended up getting alienated by the Aryan Nation and taken in by the Black Muslim. And, you know, he gets out of jail and his brother follows in his footsteps and now is becoming an Aryan himself. And he's trying to get him out of that lifestyle. There's a lot of shit that goes on, you know, and they call him traitor. And then there, you know, I ain't gonna tell y'all the story, but it's a real deep story, really great movie to watch. It's definitely intense. It's an intense movie, but it's one of the best racial breakdown movies. Really, Higher Learning to me might be a little bit better just because it gives you the aspect on both sides. It shows you everything. It even shows you, like, from the gay and the lesbian perspective, how, you know, people going to college deal with these type of emotions because, like, here it is, where we're talking about a guy that came from a town where he just basically was strictly around white people. And then when you go off into college, that's where a lot of kids are dumped off into an environment placed in around people that they've never even seen or in their life or interacted with in their life. They come from country towns where there's no native people or Indians or black or Asians or anything, just straight white people, or vice versa. They, you know, an Asian might come from, you know, Asia, you know, or wherever. They may come straight from their country here, placed in our environment. And when you go to college, Higher Learning really just show people from different walks of life coming to this college campus trying to find their identity. You know, whether to be a super black person or just be yourself. And I love the dynamic of that movie because that's what it kind of shows you, the whole breakdown of how the race plays out. The guy didn't have an identity, gets approached by the Aryans kind of recruiting and then manipulate him into doing dumb shit. And, you know, that's what it is, because at the end of the day, a lot of those people in those groups are controlled by people who are manipulating the people under them to do, like, whatever you plan to do bad shit to people, like, when you actually plan, I don't care races or whatever, if it's against your own people, whatever, that's evil thoughts. And I'm always about keeping that good energy. So I never understood that. Like, I could never fathom the idea of just sitting around wanting to hurt people, going out and doing whatever you want to do to a certain person because of how they looked or who they was or any of that. Like, to me, that just was just some of the worst shit you could do in your life. But to some people, they're easily manipulated. We see it happening all the time. We look at these kids, we look at these mass shootings, we look at, like, the Taliban, the bombers, like, all these people, a lot of the things that happen that deals with racism, it comes from other people who was perpetuating that racism to them. They didn't just learn and pick that up themselves. They were instilled with those values. Like, you don't just become a racist overnight. Like, y'all not just gonna listen to us and if you a racist, be like, oh, I'm not a racist tomorrow. It may hit you. You're gonna think about it. It may change you. Things are meant to change you in life. Yes, whether it's for the good or the bad. But it normally takes time. Like, very few people are just changed in one instance of a moment. You know?
right.
I think this is something that could show people, like, for one, we're all on this planet together. No matter what. I don't know why we Why we try to separate ourselves, all this? Because if some intergalactic shit went on and we all had to band together, we would be fucking horrible and we would all die because we don't know how to rock together. We can't even fucking, like, in the same side of town be cool with each other, let alone the whole country or all the other countries all coming together. We'd be fucked if some shit like Independence Day went down. You know, only in the movies we could get through that shit. But I'm trying to tell you, it'd be hard for me to think that we would come together as a nation. Because what I seen in the pandemic, if anything, I seen more divide than I seen people coming together. And I thought that that kind of times would have brought more people together. But with the coronavirus shit, I think I seen more divide off of that than anything. And if people was willing to divide themselves off of a choice of a vaccine of your health choice, that I seen people like I had my own family members shunning me. Like I think that was worse than racism, honestly. The coronavirus shit was way worse than racism to me because I had it happen to my own people. Like when people telling me they didn't want to come around and I was killing people, I'm a murderer. I got called all kind of names.
Right.
Like, damn. Like it really like still to this day I look at certain people still a certain kind of way. You know? So even though we say racism, segregation, all this fits into that same category. Whatever you want it to be. And the media, yes, it is demonic period, and the media is the one who perpetuates that. And I remember if you go back and look at me and Stacks like first shows way before it was even on here, it was on the other platform. And we was talking about that before, how the media is the one who really made everything to what it is. And they're the ones who they're the only ones that can make it happen, whether bringing people together or make it happen or where they divide people. Because unfortunately, people are easily influenced by propaganda, easily manipulated. We see it all the time. And unfortunately, it's just out there. These kids, look at these kids, man, they're killing each other over the silliest shit, throwing their whole life away. They think they're playing a game of Grand Theft Auto and they could respawn back after they get popped or something. It's just horrible. And it's not even just, like I said, racism. It's separatism, whatever you want to call it. We could put all kind of names because it ain't even just, I guess, black, white, black, white, Asian, Latino, black, whatever. Like sometimes it's amongst your own group. When you think about it, any murder rate is the highest amongst itself in its own ethnic group. Whether white, they're gonna kill whites more than anybody. Blacks are gonna kill blacks more than anybody. Asians gonna kill Asians more than anybody because that's who you're around. But why do we want to even kill anybody? So, like all this, we just gotta think, man. Like at the end of the day, like we gotta keep our energy on life, and that's one thing I always say. And that's the only way I feel like we can ever get past it. We never gonna fully get past it because you're gonna always have people that monetize off of this propaganda and they're gonna make so much money, all these nationalists, like whatever you want to call it, any group that I feel that preaches anything against another group of people, to me is in that category.
It is. Shout out to my brother Hakeem Andrews in the building.
What up?
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
That's what's weak about this StreamYard stuff, man.
What's going on?
Because they be showing the comments too late, and they already be shown over here on Cam that boy was good, man.
So I'm gonna read off just a couple of little. It's this article on Wiki how, and it's how to tell if you're a racist. I'm just gonna run through this real quick.
How to tell if you're a racist.
Crazy article. But it does have some good shit. So I wanted to say so, and it's a PDF.
I read that shit, bro.
So for one, it's saying method one is paying attention to your behavior. So it's breaking it down, just saying identify any obviously racist behavior in life. You know, people who may openly embrace the idea that their race is superior to others don't need to ask whether they're racist because they are. Using racist slurs or hurtful or hateful language, displaying symbols that people of color might be hurtful, whether swastikas, blackface, whatever it may be, Confederate, whatever it may be. Believing that people of different races should be segregated, defending other people's racist remarks and ideology, assuming all people of a certain race must act the same way. We touched on most of this already. Dismissing or ignoring people of color and all their contributions. And this is not, I think this is like really.
Hold on, read that part again. Say it louder.
This is something I know you've been talking about a lot lately. Dismissing or ignoring people of color and their contributions. But
so it specifically says people of color.
And that's what I don't like, because it shouldn't even be just straight to people of color, because people of color could do the same thing, vice versa. Like, me, this is not just subject to how white people could be possibly racist. This is for us too.
Right.
Like you, Virgil, anybody, any of y'all in here, anybody can have the same type of feelings towards something. And if you have reasons, I get it. Like, but at the end of the day, you can have racist undertone. But it's not just black or white people to black people. So we got to get that out that only white people are racist. No, we are racist sometimes. And I know a lot of friends where I had to tell them, like, damn, bro, that sounds racist as fuck. Like, and I say, I'm going to call it out right here. Like, yeah, bro, that might have been racist as fuck. I don't think it's like that. Like, I'm not going to say I'm kissing ass or defending nobody, but I also know the difference between statement and one of those, like, what would you call it, bro? Well, racist statement, probably. We're just gonna keep it like that. Like, you know what I mean? You can make a statement, but if it's racist, I'll speak up on it amongst my people, like, and tell them like that. If I feel it's that, if you don't mean it that way, that's a whole different way. But that's the way I might have ingested what you said. But the second one says you could check whether you frequently need to defend yourself as not being a racist. So people always seem to accuse you of saying or doing racist things. It's a chance you may need to make some changes with this is saying. Instead of getting defensive and insisting you aren't racist, just try to be constructive racist.
What is that?
I agree with that.
Your sound ain't right, L.
I'm gonna have to switch out. We used to be on Facebook Live.
Yeah, that's not clear either, bro.
What do you mean it's not clear?
Now it's starting to sound a little clearer now.
I ain't even saying nothing.
Yeah, you are. I just heard you say that you're not saying anything.
But how you hear me? Is it good? You good?
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. So it's just saying, you need to pay attention to your behavior, y'all. You need to really be mindful of what you're doing or saying. And this is for y'all too, black people. I want to keep pounding this, that y'all don't just think it's just white people. It's black people, because y'all some racist motherfuckers too. I'm gonna just be real. Like,
matter of fact, to be honest with you, the most racist people I have ever encountered personally is black people.
Yeah, y'all Christians, man. Y'all Christians is racist. Oh my gosh. I don't get it. But whatever. I love y'all too. I love
y'all to death with y'all dirty asses anyway. You feel me? Yeah, man. Unintentional racist. Are you a unintentional racist? It could be are you, right? Now when we sit up here and think about this, right? Because we all would like to think that we're not racist, but to be honest with you, how many of you guys have actually encountered full in your face racism that affected you personally?
Well, me and Court did once, but we adjusted that situation instantly. But it almost got me in trouble. I ain't gonna lie. It almost.
Elaborate on what, Project Leroy?
I could have went to jail off of that. I could have went to jail. Long story short, I got called a nigger by the dude that we used to rock with. And I even asked him like if he was tripping. He said nah, and he said it again. Court held him up. I gave him one. He fell, broke his jaw. Then he tried to, for a second, um, he tried to say that we just assaulted him. And I told the cops came to my house. I said we all knew each other. And I'm like, nah. I told my mom called me in the house. She asked me. I told her like, hey, he called me a nigger, and I felt disrespected. I even asked him again. I didn't just run up on him. He said it again, and then he said it the third time. The third time, I just let my hand go and bow. It happened, and then about a week later, he ended up admitting to the detective that he did say that, and then they had to drop all the charges. And yeah, me and Court went through that shit. That was like when we was like 12 years old. It was super early, but even still, then I didn't have any racial undertone at that time. Like I still rock with white people because my homie Lance that used to play for the Saints, his dad owned the Rick Moore Academy, the karate joint that used to be over there off of Main Street. Now it's off Livingston. But
the karate joint.
yeah, his dad was black and his mom was white. So one of my best friends was mixed his day, and I always was up to Mace's house. So I couldn't, you know what I mean? Not like white people. I always rock with white people. Like I went to Bexley for God's sake. You know what I mean? All right. So how can Christians be racist?
Yeah,
So,
I was gonna say Project Leroy. I'm about to say he just asked that question. That's a very good question, to be
it's a
honest
good
with you.
question. Do you want me to take this or you want to take that?
Nah, we can go ahead both and speak on it. Though I want you to go ahead and speak on it first because you went to
I went to Catholic
school. You know what I'm saying? So
well, shit, they used to hang on. Yeah, I could tell you from my family.
it was mostly black kids that went to that school though.
My school went to I went to an all black school. Like St. Thomas was on 5th and Cassidy. Yeah. It was all black from 1st to 8th grade when I went there.
But it was mostly white teachers though, right?
All white teachers. We had a black music teacher, Miss Duncan. All the other teachers were white.
So I want you to sit up there and go ahead and speak on that and stuff. I'm gonna go run to use the restroom real quick, and and I just want to say, let me come up real quick. The reason why I want El to go ahead and get this one first is because he went to a Catholic school, right? So he has firsthand experience with dealing with not only racism, but racism as in reference to Project Leroy's question. How
yeah, I guess it would it be called racism? It might not even be called racism because it was my own people that would hate on, I guess, me just even going to a Catholic school. Like, it was a big debate amongst the family.
I'll be right back, y'all. I'm going to go use the restroom real quick, and I'll be right back.
Cool. So, Project Leroy, to kind of touch on it, like most of my family, we were, like I said, my mom, she went to Catholic school. I went to Catholic school, 1st to 8th grade. And a part of my family was Christian. So, and they grew up Catholic. But, eventually separation and divide happens or whatever. You find your own religion as you get older. Whatever it may be. As of like right now, I don't identify with any religion per se. I have great faith, pray every day. I read different religion books, like, the Book of Tibet, the Bible, the Quran. I've dabbled into all of these different religious books, but I don't identify with any, I don't have a religion that I would call my religion to this day. And I grew up Catholic, going to Catholic church my whole life. And I dabbled in Christian churches too. So the reason I'll say that, I may not even say it the right way, but yeah, they can be racist, but I would say judgmental more than anything. Like, I felt like when I was around the Christian people in my family, or even when I go to those type of churches, like, yes, I know Catholics are very shrewd. They have different rules that they abide by, and there was a reason why I didn't have that connect with it. Even younger, I used to ask questions, would get me kicked out of class, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, because if it didn't add up, I would ask the question. And one of the things that I always felt like would come about would be uh, we would have a discussion about the natives, and the Christopher Columbus. I remember that was one thing they used to hate when I used to talk about that, because I would say, how can Christopher Columbus discover a country where people was already there? And I remember getting kicked out of class every year from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade for that. But I think it was because I touched on, when you talk about that, that goes back to that definition of, well, what I was just reading, where they say, basically talking about trying to erase certain uh, marks in history, or accomplishments. But to me, it wasn't that I was trying to do that. Like, I'm not coming from a racist view, but I'm just looking at it like, if you're reading me a book and you're telling me these people were here, and then some other people came over here to the place that they were at, and they say that they discovered this place, you can't discover something that somebody was already there unless I don't know the right definition for discovery, and I'm misinformed there. And they could never combat that, and I would always go into a back and forth and get kicked out. But I think that's because in their mind, it's sometimes they're right to claim something, and Christians, they align with that because they feel like Christianity, to back it up, a lot of this starts off of religion. I'm sorry. A lot of wars are created off of religion. I'm not sure if everybody knows this. Most of the wars that goes on, that was back in the day, was off of religion. Some of the longest wars were religious wars. And the Christians, all the religions felt like their religion was the best. And I feel like the Christians in this country, they really display that, and they really try to flex that. And when I went to different churches, I seen the difference. Like, yes, Catholic had his ways that I didn't like, but Catholics didn't really care to talk or anything about any other religions or any other people. But when I went to them Christian churches, and they would be like, "Oh, you go to St. Thomas," like, they would want to talk down on the religion, talk down on the people, blah, blah, I know this person, blah, blah, like, hey, and I'm like, damn, like, here I am, a kid, 16, 17, starting to really make these decisions. And I think that's what kind of pushed me away from religion, because for me, I'm like, I'm more of a person that wants people to be together, not divided. And even in that day and age, these were some of the people like pastors and stuff that I would talk to, preachers, whoever, and they're talking about divide. And as a kid, you got to understand how confusing that was. And when I say Christians could be racist, I may have said it the wrong way. They can be segregatists or something like, I don't know, but they are racist. Because the undertone amongst their own people, by you just going to a different church and the way that you talk to people and you want to look down, like, to me, I feel a certain way. Like, it may not be racist, it's judgmental, if anything, but I don't like that, man. Judging and all that is just as worse as, sometimes you could be a judgmental person and it'd be worse than you be racist, in my eyes. Because judgments can have you not put people in the right position where they should be. You're looking past people that may deserve what they should get, but you judge them off of whatever your prejudgment or whatever you judge them for, and you could just miss out on a lot in life just being a judgmental person. So maybe I said it wrong by racist, but like I said, all of these things to me fall in the same category, whether you're racist, I thought the camera's on. So whether you're racist, judgmental, or you believe in segregation, all of those to me are the same category. So I could say it's racist, but in that case, it's more judgmental, but that's the same shit to me. Right. You judge me because of who I am, or just because I might, like, a Christian might tell you don't date a Catholic person. That's just like a white person telling you don't date a black person. I've never heard that in no other in no other place. So I think that could be my ignorance, but I've only really witnessed that from multiple different Christian people where they would say something like that, like, I only want you talking to a Christian woman. I only want you being with a Christian person, or Christians are the best. Like,
Right.
you know, you shouldn't have to, if you're the best, you should never have to say it. You know?
I mean, I see what you're saying when you say that. But let's talk about this word Christian, y'all. Right? Now, mind y'all, the word Christian is only mentioned, I think, a few times in the Bible. Right? Now, to y'all who may not know this, my dad just was speaking on this on Sunday when we was talking about the spiritual roots of anatomy and biology, right? And I'm gonna take it a little bit further since we're speaking on this aspect right here from the aspect of being in the Catholic church or the Catholic school and all that. And I spoke on this briefly, so I'm gonna expound on it a little bit here as well, right? You know what I'm talking about? The word Christian, right? It has nothing to do with Yeshua HaMashiach. The word Christian, right, is the tax code or is a name for people that fit in a certain tax bracket in the Roman Empire back in this time or this era, right? And what the Roman Empire did was take what everyone was saying Yeshua was claiming he was, right? And they took that and, like I said, inverted it. You feel me? So since they called him Yeshua HaMashiach, or Jesus the Christ, or Christos, or Christo, or Christ, right? What they did is they took that term and turned it into tax name, a name for a tax code or people who fit in the tax bracket when it comes for tax time for those who were allegedly following the so-called King Yeshua, right? So what they did was they turned it into a way to invert it in this originality where Yeshua HaMashiach was, and then they used that, right, to create this system, right, of taxation of a certain demographic of people, right? And that's where the term Christian comes from. It ain't even got nothing to do with Yeshua, seeing as how his name wasn't Jesus. And that's just another aspect to think about this whole thing with my brother Project Leroy saying, are Christians racist, or can Christians be racist? Of course they can. Christianity, which now we know is a tax code, right? Or name for people that fit a certain tax bracket, right? Back in these days, biblical days or whatever, you know what I'm saying? When you think about, you know what I'm saying, what a Christian is today in the current state of the Christian church and the biggest basically sect of Christianity, which is the Universal Roman Catholic Church, right? Which does impose taxes to this day. So, you know, man, that's a beautiful thing, though. I'm glad Ed was able to expound on that like he did, you know what I'm saying, from the perspective, because like I said, him going to a Catholic school, he has a perspective to speak on this from, because if there was any racism, which I'm pretty sure even if he didn't see the racism specifically in the school, he's seen it under the jurisdiction of the religion.
Well, that's because you know, like Stacks, you know me. And now, by now, y'all kind of get a good tone of me. Like, I ask questions, and I've been this way my whole life. If something sound kind of different, like I said, that Christopher Columbus discussion, I knew I was getting kicked out.
I want to get in. Hey, listen, this is what we can do then, y'all. Right? Since y'all, hey, listen. Right?
When they talk,
Because Cristoforo Colombo or Colombe, right? We could get into him. They tore every single statue of Christopher Columbus down in America. Do y'all realize that?
I mean, it was only right.
Now, I'm going to come up for this as well before I twist up.
Yeah.
I understand the importance of his statues being torn down, and to some degree, I agree with them being torn down. But also, and I don't too much talk about how I feel, right? So I'm not even going to say it, but I also think that they should have kept them up, so we can be reminded of who these people are, so that we can't never forget. I think every time I see that statue when I ride down Broad Street and I see it in front of that building, goddamn it, it reminds me of what I'm up against, what we up against. And it's a reminder to keep going. Hard body, you hear me? But now it's no longer there. Now, I'm not saying that's going to have an effect on me doing what I do, because it's not, but, you know, I understand the importance.
That was your motivation.
Yeah, it was part of the motivation. I understand the importance of getting rid of them, much like I could understand the importance of keeping them. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I don't want a guy like, and this is not up to me to say this, but I'm just saying, speaking for me personally, I don't want a guy like Christopher, or should I say Cristoforo Colombo. I don't want him. I don't want Cristoforo Colombo. I don't want him to wither off into history, into the memory hole. Nah, keep him so we can know who the fuck he is. So if anybody else try to pop up like his ass, we're going to know who your ass is. You hear me? I'm talking about probably one of the biggest statues in the country of Cristoforo Colombo in our city. It's numerous of them, but that one in front of City Hall would have to be probably one of the biggest ones in the country. Gone. Been there ever since I can remember. It's gone. It's kind of crazy to not see that when I ride down West Broad Street.
They had to, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, and I feel what you're saying. Like you said,
it is though, Uncle Diggity, man. It really is, man. It really is.
We from Columbus, like we gonna always have to say I was born and raised in Columbus. You know, and I remember for a while I was ashamed to say that shit.
Most states have a Columbus city named Columbus in them. So if you live in a state where y'all have a city named Columbus, that just lets you know that Columbus had he touched down in here. That means he was doing some traffic in here. He was doing some probably he was a sick motherfucker.
Yeah, Georgia,
great demon. You hear me? When I do the show on Christopher Columbus, y'all, I'm going to take y'all to where I'm pretty sure most of y'all don't know a lot of this stuff about Christopher Colombo. Right? You know what I mean? And we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it.
But basically, I think all this ties in. You know, we tie it all back up. Like from Christopher Columbus to all this, like this was a way that they was able to, like I said, my teachers, they had that part of history that to them was proud. Because, you know, maybe they could say to themselves and their friends, like, yeah, a white man discovered America. But then here you got this black kid in class challenging him and making valid points. I know my points used to be valid when I used to have those discussions. Like, how can you tell me somebody discovered something when people was already there? Like, to me, as a kid, it just was a very valid discussion to have. And a battle that I would pick to have and not just kind of stand down and let a teacher just keep saying it and us kids have to eat it. Like, I'll be the one to take the bullet. And I did that every year. And I remember my mom, the second year I got kicked out, she asked me, like, she didn't get mad with things like that. Me and my mom had discussions if I ever got into trouble, like, why'd you do this? And I'll tell her. And she never got mad at that, but I remember the second time that she basically like backed off and was like, all right. And it's the truth. Like, what are you going to tell your kid? Don't speak the truth? Like, yeah, that shit don't make sense. Like, I'm telling you, Mom, like, what do you want me to do? Let the teacher tell me that a man discovered something that was already discovered by people? But to me, I think it was more in their heads, undertone racist. Like, I don't think the teachers themselves were racist, but I think them trying to hold on to that little piece of history kind of brought out a racial undertone. If you get what I'm saying.
I'm gonna go a little bit further and say it's none of that. I'm gonna say they've been indoctrinated. They've been indoctrinated through college to be repeaters. You hear me? And when you go against the program, it's like you know, it's like sensory overload. Like, oh, we got one that's not accepting the program, right? Yeah. And when I say race don't have nothing to do with at that point, that's because, you know, at that point it's pure indoctrination, you know what I'm saying, of the very racism that these people display and portray, either wittingly or unwillingly, knowingly or unknowingly. You know what I'm saying? And due through the indoctrination, you know, a lot of people don't even, like I say, they don't even realize that when they say certain things out of anger, that, you know, not necessarily that is not racist, but it's not necessarily racist either, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? And to be a racist, that's like we all know, that's something that you have to grow up and be indoctrinated into that. Like I said, that's something that you have to grow up around. That has to be taught to you.
Yeah. You know, just like people think that they was all brought over here on slave ship.
Right.
And that they weren't already here.
Right.
Because that's what they was told. But that's a whole other show.
Most people believe what they are told. Most people don't question what they are told.
Nah.
Right.
Nah.
At all. Not even a little bit. Exactly, Uncle Diggity. And that's why I say, y'all, and I'm about to cam up for this, man.
Yeah, there were slaves. We all
exactly, Uncle Diggity. Exactly. Wiping out a whole generation of us still didn't help. The truth still found its way to the surface. Exactly. And this is why, y'all, I say our generation is in the crosshairs, right? What do I always say to y'all? Our generation is the very last generation of humans, right, that know what stuff was like before this technology came in. Which means we have a frame of reference, y'all. Y'all got to understand how important that is. You got to understand the implications of what that means and why they're coming at us, specifically our generation, hard. You hear me? And I'm always mention that and speak on that because it's very important for y'all to understand why that's important, why that's significant. It ain't for me to tell you, though. It's for you to understand it and know it for yourself. Yeah, me and Gardner, they want that on Wallace. They only gave Columbus credit for discovering Native Americans.
Right. That's true. If you want to give him credit for something, and how's that a discovery? It's not really a discovery. Like, they were here. Like, he ain't discovered shit. He just went across the water. Maybe he's the first person. I don't even know. If they gotta give him credit for something. The first white man to see Plymouth Rock.
If you give Christopher Columbus,
that's what he was. He was the first.
If you give him credit for anything,
he's the first.
This is what you could give him credit for, right? Because this is how he made a lot of his money and how he got very, very popular and known for what he do. How about this, though, right?
The first white man that started to bring diseases over to the country?
No. He wasn't even the first to do that. But if you going to say give him credit for anything, you give him credit for industrializing, revolutionizing, massive global marketing the human sexual slave trade, especially children. That's what you can give Christopher Columbus credit for. If you want to give him credit for anything, he was the one who came up with the logistics.
Yeah, he definitely had the slave, the sex trade. He was one of the top guys doing that.
I see why the natives over here, our native indigenous brethren and sisters over here, I see why they don't want to celebrate no damn holiday with Christopher Colombo.
Sick as hell, man, when you think about it.
Yeah, man. So, you know what I'm saying, man? We want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to keep dragging these. We're going to try to keep these things down to 2 to 2.5 hours at the top, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in the chat room, man, coming out tonight. Interesting discussion topic, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to being an unintentional racist, you know, it could be argued, man. It's a very multifaceted thing, you know. And you know what I'm saying? It's something to keep in your awareness, man, you know. Not to be a perpetual fearhead, like you just gotta watch and walk on eggshells what you say, but just be mindful. And when it comes to racism, you know what I'm saying, understand what racism is, but more importantly, understand what it is not.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's a big part of it. Is to understand, like, communication amongst everybody, different ethnicities, different races. I'm not afraid to ask anybody anything. Like, I'll pull you, pull you to the side or whatever. If it come off, I'll pull you in the corner. If it may come off racist, because that's what you could do. Like, just say, hey, is this, you know what I mean? Like, yo, like, all right. You know what I mean? And people would tell you, they be real with you. Like, just have that open communication. It's just like any other relationship. Any relationship. Husband, wife, friend, any relationship, it's the same type of communication. Just be open. And most of the time when you're being open with somebody, they not gonna react in an ill way, especially if you got a question or something that might be in your head. It's not bad to think different thoughts. And you know what? That thought may not be all. It may be right, but
yeah, it's not, you know, it's not necessarily a wrong thought, but you know, listen here, y'all, man, and just to add on to what El just said, listen, y'all can go to that about section, right? Or go to the description in the video, man, or here you go right here, you know what I'm saying? Listen, hit me up on the email, man. You know what I'm saying? If y'all got any questions,
tell them.
You know what I'm saying?
Come in on Tuesday. If y'all ever got any questions, have where people won't have an open discussion. It's not going to be at your neck or driving you or shaming you if you have
none of that shit.
A question. None of that. This is an open discussion. Like we have discussions where we understand. And you could be a flat out racist. You could be from the Aryan Nation. You could be saying some shit, but you know what? I'd rather you come on the show and ask the real questions and have a real discussion, and we'll tell you our side, because I got questions too that I'm sure I will have. You know? And exactly. That's the way we would deal with it on here. Y'all can come in anytime, Tuesday, 8 o'clock, and then y'all can hop on the panel and have an open discussion with this.
Right. Or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, because I understand some of y'all may not. Like some of y'all don't feel like comfortable commenting. Y'all just want to watch from the clouds. Listen, hit that email address up right there. Any questions y'all may have, if I have the power and ability to answer them, I will. Or I will point you in the direction of someone or something who can't or that can. You hear me?
Or create a fake account, man. Get you a burner account and come up here.
He said a burner account.
Get you a KD account, man. Come up here, man. We want to have the discussions. Like, I want to talk. I want people to come up on Tuesday nights. I want y'all to have these discussions. Come through 8 o'clock. It's gonna be me and Stacks, 8 o'clock every Tuesday. This is an open forum where we're gonna have these discussions. Get you a burner account if you don't want your real account. Go create one. It'll take you less than 5 minutes. Come up here or hop in the comment section and you can ask your question. And better yet, because if you ain't gonna ask them for your real account, if you ain't gonna cam up and do that, then just create a burner account. I'm just gonna tell you, create a burner account come in the comment section or come on and we gonna have it popping. And we had these discussions, man. Come on, man. Don't be scared. Like that's the thing. How you gonna be racist and scared, man? That shit. Oh
But
man.
most people who are actually racist are scary as shit.
Yeah, have these discussions. You can come out and call me whatever you want, but
I'm over here weak as hell, Project Leroy, Uncle Diggity, this nigga L saying this shit.
Man, I want to have these discussions. Like, I'm really real with this. I've had these discussions. I've had dudes that was racist. I've literally talked to racist cats that I knew was racist. And my whole goal was to flip them by the end of that conversation and have them thinking they was dumb as shit. And not, I'm sorry. I don't want to say it like that, but the reason I say that, because I don't want to say it like disrespectfully, but I feel like the whole idea of racism, to me, my opinion, I could be ignorant. You come, like I said, had a discussion Tuesday, 8 o'clock on here or wherever, get you a burner account. And I'll tell you why I feel, my opinion, that racism always has been done to me. It's not
You said racism always been what now?
It's not a bright thought. Let me say it in the right way. It's
If
not
you're racist, you're stupid. I'm gonna say it.
Basically, that's how I
If
feel.
you're racist, you're dumb.
I'm trying to say it the politically correct way. Dumb,
you're stupid and you're dumb.
Stupid, not a bright thought. We're gonna try to any of those, check in the box, whatever.
Basically, what I'm saying is if you hate or dislike somebody or have disdain for somebody simply based on the color of their skin, that would make you stupid.
Yes. And I don't believe in it. But if you have your reasoning why, I would love to invite to have that open discussion, and I will not be disrespectful. And you could be disrespectful, and I will still not be disrespectful because I still want to hear the view. And I want to understand why people are this way. This is one discussion that I've always wanted to hear. So if anybody ever hears this that feels a certain way, please come up. We're open to having a discussion. It's an open panel. If you're scared, get you a burner account and come up here. You know, peace, love, and blessings. That's what I'm gonna give you. It's peace, love, and blessings at the end of the day. And I'm gonna still wake up in the morning and say my prayer that I say every morning for everybody, and you're gonna be included in it, whether you like it or not.
I always say that the only way real change can occur is if you have very thought-provoking, very controversial discussions with people who you most vehemently disagree with. Because one thing I found for myself, all right, this is what I found for myself over my years of experience. When you have conversations with people who you disagree with, what you find is that, like El said earlier, you have way more in common with people who you like to think you would disagree most vehemently with than what you would even like to admit or even see. So it's good to have conversations with people who you disagree with. How are you going to grow in any way if you are not able to have a mutual conversation with a person who you would disagree with? How are you going to grow if your thoughts are never challenged by what you disagree with? Then that's when your situation turns into an echo chamber. And this is one of the main reasons why we invite people to come up, specifically, especially those who disagree. All right. And I'm gonna just reiterate what L said and what I always say. You know, it's always gonna be over here on A Real Talk. You will not be over talked. You will not be disrespected. You will not be belittled or marginalized or what's the word people used to say that I was how the top they used to say I was I was man. Huh?
You start to you.
No, that's I'm trying to think of the word.
This is a wild man out here on the Facebook. He used to.
You can grow from what you are. You know what I'm saying? You
But
can't grow from what you already know. You definitely can't. I'm trying to remember the word.
They used to say.
I want to say Brandis said it. I can't remember what she said.
Oh,
what she say? She said that
oh man,
it begins with a D.
Hey,
What's
you,
the word? No, not discriminate. Not discriminate. It's talking about when somebody talk to you and they like what you say, they make it irrelevant. Like,
yeah. But you was having
I
the
can't
thing.
remember what the exact word is right now, but like, come on, I'm not that type of guy, man.
The thing is, people didn't understand a lot of the direction. Some of it was very harsh, but you have to understand the direction in the conversation and what needs to be had. And
Right.
sometimes the conversation, when it becomes uncomfortable to people, uh, it's, and I get it, it happens. But that's what happens. But like you was leading in to say, we need to have the
No, Project Leroy. It's not deflect either.
yeah.
I know it when I hear it. I just can't think of it right now because I'm,
I remember
high
it
and
was
start
that
thinking
moment
about
too. I definitely remember what you're talking about now.
it. Yeah.
But we gotta have these uncomfortable conversations for us to get past anything. And that's what really anything. And that's whether you got a relationship. That's why I was just talking about that open communication. You have to have that communication where you can ask these questions. If you do have that back and forth feeling, at least have somebody that you can have these open discussions with. And that makes it
Oh,
easy. Y'all come on here and have those discussions. But and that's what we do. We're gonna tap into more different topics. This was one that like I said, I was watching it.
although I have a very strong gift of discernment, that's not it either.
Said, nah, it wasn't that. It wasn't dismissive. It was something crazy.
It was a word with a D, though. I can't believe I can't think of the word right now. I'm just having a straight brain fart right now.
Nah,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
would know it too because I do remember.
You know what I'm talking about?
It was crazy. But the thing is, I understood. Some of it was left field. But at the time, it was certain topics. Sometimes I would even chime in because I'm like, this is kind of how dudes may feel, like, because you was coming really a lot from a man's point of view in certain situations. And I think that was what deteriorate because women don't understand men, just like we don't 100% understand women, but they definitely felt a certain way. I will say that. But basically, just to kind of reel everything back in, if y'all have these type feelings about any other group, and I get it, the TV play, the media does put out the propaganda sometimes to make you feel a certain way. Um, and I ain't gonna lie, like, I'll tell you, even amongst my people, and this was some of the things I was talking today to somebody about, because how disappointed I'll be in my community. And I know, like, when I hear certain stuff happen repeatedly in my community, I feel a certain way, like let down. So I know I could feel a certain way about my community, and like somebody else could feel that same way. Like, damn, they killing each other like crazy over there. That don't make them racist, and I get it, because sometimes that can also be misconstrued. Now, when you think that all people from that race is like that, that's when I think is the difference in making a true statement. Like, hey, the people in that environment are making those bad decisions. Like, because it happens. People get killed on the west side, whereas white guys killing people out there too. Like, it happens. Like I said. But when you subject it to a whole different group and you start treating certain people just off of your judgments and because of who they look like instead of who they are. And I get it. Like, I ain't even gonna say, because if I go to the hood, I might move a certain different way than if I'm up in Dublin. So it don't make me racist, but I know if I'm in the hood and I hop out my car, I might take my keys out my. Like, I am gonna take my keys out my car with me and probably lock my doors to where if I go out in Dublin, I might be able to go to the store real quick and I ain't even gonna lock my doors. Sometimes I might go in the gas station and leave my engine running where I live at. Like, I ain't gonna do that in neighborhoods in the hood. That don't make me racist. It makes me aware. Now, if I start to feel like every person like that is that way, and I start to prejudge people just like that, then that's when I will become a racist. Because look, I'm gonna tell you, like,
my nigga Project Leroy going in. Look, the word has something to do with belittling somebody or making them feel like what they said is less important than what you said.
You have to get Brandon.
It was a word along the lines of I can't remember what the word is, man.
Let's bring Brandis up here next Tuesday.
Brandon's ass ain't gonna come up on this goddamn thing, man.
Yes, he will.
Yes, he will. My nigga Project Leroy, it's like a splinter in your mind, isn't it, Project Leroy? You have to know what this word is.
Yeah.
Dismissive is a part of it, though. That's not the word, though.
It was something harsh, though. She
said it's a word beginning with a D. I know it's a word beginning with the letter D. I can't remember exactly what it is, but she basically said when I be saying stuff as far as like when I be dropping jewels on the info, like I think when I say something is like whatever I say, not demoralize, not deplatform, not devalue, not dismiss. But I can't forget what the word. I can't believe I'm not understanding or remember what the word is right now. But she said I was very something. I'm like, girl, I'm not. I don't do that. Don't do that. That's somebody who knows that their information is inferior to mine would say something like that. Undermining. That's what she said. It's not the word D. I apologize. She said she said that I undermine people. That's what she said, y'all. It's not D. I was tripping the whole time. I apologize for sending y'all through that alliteration, that a literal brain war y'all just had to go to, man. Vocabulary war y'all had to do in y'all's heads just now. She said you always this is what she said, El. She said you always undermine people. Yeah. She said you always undermine people.
Yeah. But
said, could be argued.
But you gotta understand though, man. Like
she said you always undermining people.
At that time, it was a lot of relationship shit going on. The Kevin Samuel shit was at the height of the storm. It was a lot of divide between, it still goes on damn near daily, the racial divide war. So, yeah.
Now listen to this, y'all.
You was having some real intense discussions, bro.
Listen to this real quick, though. Man. Lessen the effectiveness, power, or ability of, especially gradually or insidiously. Right?
Yeah, that be in the box.
I'll go with this definition right here. Erode the base or foundation of. I'll go with that. Okay, so if that's the definition, that's one of the two definitions of undermine. Hold on, let me make sure it ain't any more. No, that's it. Right? So it's only two definitions. I'm going to go with number one. Okay. Or even this second part of number one. Dig or excavate beneath a building or fortification so as to make it collapse. So I guess I do undermine some things then. Stand corrected. Right? Because what I do is, let me come up for this.
You used to teeter the line, bro.
This is what I do right here, man. This is what I do.
This is
what I do right here, though, man. This is what I do. Stacks with the facts. This is what I do, man. What I do is I do the due diligence and the thorough research that most of y'all ain't going to do for various reasons. I'm not going to insult nobody, so I'm not going to say. You hear me? But I do my due diligence, and I'm doing it for a long time. So when I speak on something, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You hear me? That's why nobody really ever challenges me. Not that I want to be challenged or would shy away from being challenged, or I don't, that's not my thing. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what that was. Me and Garner on wallets. But listen here, man. You hear me? what I do is I do the due diligence and I get to the root fabric fiber of the lie and bring out the truth. And I use that to chip away at the false foundation of the illusory aspect of everything, right? To uncover the raw, the real, the truth, the essence, right? So I guess in that sense, I'm a undermining ass nigga. You hear me? So I'll take that. You hear me? But we about to get up out of here, y'all, man. El, you got anything to say in closing, man?
No, I mean, I feel like pretty much said everything. Like I said, peace, love, and blessings to everybody. If you ever have anything you want to discuss or any topic that we have discussed or anything that you just want to come up to say, Tuesday, 8 o'clock, definitely can make that happen. If you don't feel comfortable, get you a burner page. Be cool with that. But yeah, we just want y'all to just have these thoughts, and just move with at least some type of awareness to what you may be doing out here. Like I said, it could go either way because what can happen is like if you're black, you can offset to maybe not getting a job or a position, that you may be trying to get, but you may give off some type of racial undertones. So maybe you need to tone down how you rock, and maybe for like other people, like if you feel a certain way, just like I said, don't feel like that race is all connected in certain actions. That's really the way that you eliminate the whole racist acts. Like if you could really just put it as a situational for that person, or maybe I ain't even gonna lie, like it could be subject to certain environments. Like we know if you're in the hood, it's gonna be a little worse. If you're in a trailer park, things gonna be a little worse. If you're on the reservation, things gonna be a little worse.
Not the reservation, man. You hear this guy, man.
Hey, I'm breaking it down for you, bro.
Hey, Glitch, man, you already know, man. And just to add on to something real quick, though, man, undermined isn't a word. Now, if you want to reference to this concept of the overmind, I guess its inverse would be undermined. But as far as the English language, there's no word undermined. It's undermine with an E. Just wanted to say that, man.
Oh. Well, whatever. I mean, that's a jewel drop because I never knew that.
Right.
But like I said, crime gonna happen more amongst the people that it's in. So if anything, when you talk about crime, that is a very subjective stance, and I think that's a lot what black people gets associated with is crime. And I do get it because if we look at the statistics amongst per capita.
I was just laughing at this bigger man guard. Funny ass
nigga, man. We look at statistics per capita, black people they wild out. But if we look at as a whole scope, white people kill more, but that's only because it's more. But I don't know, man. It's something that I feel like we just gotta have the discussion and just know that I don't know, man. It's something that starts with the way we raise our kids too.
It definitely starts with that.
The more I look
basically, with that being said, it starts with us. You hear me? It starts with us because that's the only way the kids is gonna learn. They're learning from us.
But I'm seeing a lot more mixed kids out here, so I would just honestly, if I was you, I wouldn't be racist and then have kids because a lot of times they say that about if you racist and you have kids and you be a racist, that your kids gonna date that race that you hate. So,
that's crazy.
And it's been happening more and more. Look at it, bro. If you look at man, I'll be looking at these high school photos, bro. If you was looking at the prom pictures and homecoming pictures, bro, it's a lot more mixed kids out here, bro. They out here choosing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, man. All you gotta do is look at the high school photos, man. I was just looking like, you see Facebook, like, oh yeah, they out here now. Like now it ain't. Now you gonna mix, man. Your kids is gonna date what they date, man. So don't be surprised if they come home with. You know, so it don't even kind of fit you to be a racist nowadays because now a lot of schools is integrated. So now when you send your kids off to school, they're gonna be around a lot of different races. You never know what your kid's type is gonna be. So if you're gonna be racist, I'm just gonna tell you, like, it's a great percentage of you racist that your kid's gonna date somebody from a different race out there, like nowadays. Back in the days, you might have been able to get away with it, but nowadays it's almost impossible for them not to have some type of affection or even bump into other races. It's not like back in the day. We got all this technology, everything. Like Stock said, we are the last of this age that didn't have this technology. We the last is gonna remember when you couldn't hop on these camera phones and when you didn't have cell phones and when all you had was pagers and the TV used to cut off at a certain time of night and you had to dial up for the internet and you might get on and you might not and whatever. So we the last of that age. After us, ain't nobody gonna know. It's gonna be like Total Recall. It's gonna be a whole different thing. So, you know, I just say honestly, if you are a racist, it really don't help you. Like you might end up really hating your kids over some dumb stuff where you could have built with somebody and possibly had a stepson or a stepdaughter that you could have grown with later down the line. So karma does happen, it does exist, but at the end of the day, don't be racist. That's the only thing I could say. Just don't be racist. Just like the South Park episode. Don't be racist.
Right. So we're gonna get up out of here, y'all, man. Thank all y'all for coming out. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna ride out to the classic E&E track for sure. Hit that like button on the way out. Shout out to everybody, you know what I'm saying, who blessed the collection plate. I appreciate that, y'all, man. Shout out to everybody who tapped in tonight. Shout out to everybody who's sharing on their social engineering and subscribing and all of that. Y'all tell y'all aunties and all them to come through tomorrow night. So did I make it already? I'm gonna make sure I did. I think I did, but then again, I might not have.
You got popping tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, man, we're gonna be discussing this because I told y'all they coming for our kids, man. And I'm gonna keep up with the Coming for Our Kids series. And tomorrow we're gonna be discussing how through the the current animation with the anime and the cartoons, how they're coming for our children and indoctrinating them with the Luciferian and satanic agenda. That's what we're gonna be discussing tomorrow. So y'all make sure y'all tap in tomorrow at 8. We definitely going in. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to my brother L coming through. Shouts out to everybody else that coming through. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna sit up here and leave y'all with you know what I'm saying, this classic track right here, man. Since you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean, we had this conversation talking about race and all of that under unintentional races and all of that stuff, man. But you know what I mean, this topic for the night was one of the main inspirations for this song, for real. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I mean, even though we being made to think that we so separate and divided, man, we gotta realize how much we have in common. And matter of fact, we're just alike. You feel me? And I think once we start really looking at that, we start answering some of the questions that we got that we ain't been really trying to answer, because the answer lies within the question. Thank you all for coming out tonight, man. Hit that like button on the way out, man. Subscribe to the page, man. Click on the bell and all of that. Share on your social engineering, your social media. You know what I'm talking about? Tell everybody come tap in and walk with us tomorrow night at 8. We going in. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We're going in tomorrow night. You know what I'm saying? They are coming for our children. You know what I'm saying? Volume 2 edition, man. Come tap in and walk with us, man. Y'all enjoy y'all evening. Stacks with the facts. Stacks with the facts. Immediately. The real contender. You know, we be manipulated into thinking that we're so different in our reality. The things that we allow to separate us, man, are the very same things that can unite us all. What we gonna do, y'all? We all want. It's time for us to wake up. Conflict creates controversy, causes confusion. I don't believe in it all because it's all illusions. No difference between us because I am you and you and me. Everything is us and we are everything. Conflict creates controversy, causes confusion. I don't believe in it all because it's all illusions. No difference between us because I am you and you and me. Everything is us and we are everything. When I was sitting in prison, I had the illest visions. Waking up in cold sweats, thought I was really tripping. I'm getting letters from Adrian saying I miss you, brother. I'm getting God body books sent to me by my mother. It's funny how you don't realize till you get locked away. How many years you wasted just was in the way. Many you call, only a few get chosen though. The smart grid is now here, but it ain't over though. They gotta try to divide us and keep us separated. But if we all come together, we could never be caged. I'm trying to bring all us together, my sister and brethren. Ain't no difference between us, we each other's reflection. Conflict creates controversy, causes confusion. I don't believe in it all because it's all illusions. No difference between us because I am you and you and me. Everything is us and we are everything. Conflict creates controversy, causes confusion. I don't believe in it all because it's all illusions. No difference between us because I am you and you and me. Everything is us and we are everything. You in Agenda 2030 is right in our face. Coronavirus got us all with masks on our face. We get illusion of choice from public politicians. And the black bootleg, they control our position. You know they give us our leaders, tell us to follow them. They separate and divide us because it profits them. I'm in action, resilient, and weaponized. They playing us like a hawk, and we should all know better. GMO foods, and you know they put poison in our water. The prison system take fathers away from sons and daughters. I'm trying to clear out a path that lead us from the slaughter. I don't just do it for me, I do this shit for all us. Conflict creates controversy, causes confusion. I don't believe in it all because it's all illusions. No difference between us because I'm you and you and me. Everything is us and we are everything. Conflict creates controversy, causes confusion. I don't believe in it all because it's all illusions. No difference between us because I am you and you and me. Everything is us and we are everything. Everything. Stacks with the facts. E&E. 2020 takeover. The real contender. Realize that we are all one. I'm a reflection of you. You a reflection of me. We are a reflection of we.